Now that putt ended up close there, but you probably saw that stroke and were like, man, what was that stroke? Putter kind of went outside, kind of came across, kind of wobbling around. And I've got students sometimes that I'll see some of these strokes and they're like, Nick, my stroke is so bad, it's taken outside, I open the face, I close it, it wobbles around, all kinds of stuff going on. But then the question becomes is, hey, is that a bad stroke, or is the bad stroke because of bad aim? And what I mean by that is, again, now I was able to time that one up, but again, that's the part of putting that we want to be consistent on, because if I might be able to do that 1 out of 5 times, but I'm not going to be able to do that every single time. Okay, there's no way I'm going to be able to maneuver that putter around. Okay, so now here's where the bad aim comes. When we get set up, our brain is saying, hey, I got to get it to that target. Okay, so if you pointed me 15 feet over here to the right, I'm not going to make this perfect arcing putting stroke. I'm going to do anything I can with my body, with my club, and get that putter face going over there. So the worse my aim is, the worse my stroke's going to be. Now again, I can kind of time it up every once in a while, but it's going to be really hard for me to be consistent with that. Okay, so for us to be a better putter and to have a better stroke, we've got to have good aim. Okay, and again, like that putt there, this putt, a lot of times with my students, they're good readers of the green. Okay, and they see this putt as, hey, it's breaking from left to right. But now their ability to get lined up at that spot they've picked out to the left of the hole, they're poor at. That's what they struggle with. They get set up here and they might be aiming more at the hole, or maybe even a little bit to the right. And again, now their stroke has to be influenced because their brain's going, man, I got to get that ball over there to the left somehow. So for us to have a better stroke and to be more consistent, it's not so much just having it look prettier. When I try to maneuver that face, I'm going to be inconsistent with that. I might close it 5 degrees, 10 degrees the next time, 1 degree, might leave it open. So again, I'm trying to be more stable with that face from that setup. So 2 things to help us get lined up better, to aim better before we even hit the putt. First one, which again, sometimes I have students fight me on, but again, you've got Tiger Woods, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, a ton of pros that are putting a couple hours and practicing that every day, need help with their aim. They're using the line on the ball, or maybe they're using the arrows, the TP5 logo, the TaylorMade logo. They're using something. Almost every golf brand has got some arrows, lines, something to help you get lined up, okay? So I like using the line on, okay? I think that's the best way. And again, using that line is gonna be so much easier for me to get set up. And again, these pros are doing it, I think we should do it. So the first part there is I've got it, when I stand behind my golf ball, I'm gonna use this line on that golf ball, and I'm gonna point it at my target. So again, my target's not the hole because this putt's breaking left to right. We'll use this existing ball out here. That's my target. So after I've picked my target, I'm gonna use this line on the ball, and I'm gonna get that line on that golf ball aiming at my target, okay? Now again, if anybody's using Smart Line, okay, you've got your ball marker. That ball marker with that line is getting matched up to your spot based on that read, 1, 2, or 3, okay? Same thing, but I've got to get this golf ball aimed at my target, okay? That's the first thing. Second is how I walk into the golf ball. What I see a lot of people do, and it hurts them, is they stand behind their golf ball. I'm gonna kind of stand on the side, behind their golf ball in a direct line to the hole. So now that line to the hole, use this alignment stick, that line to the hole there, as they walk in and they're coming up to the golf ball, all of a sudden, these don't match up. So they've got to try to adjust. And I see them kind of shimmying around and going like this, and it's really hard for them to get comfortable or get into a good spot where they're actually lined up correctly. So I'm gonna move this stick so it's lined up with our line on our golf ball, going to our spot out there to the left. Instead of me standing behind the ball to the hole, I'm gonna stand behind the ball to my target. So I'm trying to get everything kind of straight lines, everything perpendicular and right angles, okay? So now, all of a sudden, I'm standing here and I'm behind my golf ball in a straight line to my target. So when I come into here, I'm coming in at this right angle. Hey, it's much easier for me to get this putter set there versus me having to shimmy in around, okay? So again, I came in correctly, standing behind my ball to my target. I've got the line on the ball, which makes it easy for me to get this line on my putter. And if I get those two matched up, hey, I'm gonna be pretty good right there. And then again, now I'm looking down that line and then I can putt, okay? So again, that stroke was much better. I'm gonna have a lot more consistency with that. I don't have the face moving around so much. Sometimes when you put the line on the ball, if you haven't done it, it does take a little bit of practice. The green's not perfectly flat, so that ball can move around a little bit. You've just got to trust yourself that when you're behind it and you're putting it down, it's much easier for it to get lined up than you trying to do it without that line. Okay? Now I got two things. After I get that ball lined up, then I want to check that I can get my ball started correctly on my line. So I'm going to take the next ball here, line that line up again. Okay? And I'm going to take that stick. You can take a club, anything, kind of extend this line. And I'm just going to take a flat ball marker here and I'm going to put it out in front. I also sometimes, if I don't want to use that because I don't even want it to roll over, I want it to be just the ground, I'll use my chalk pen and I'll put a little spot out there, a little dot. Okay, and now I'm going to move this. So again, I put the line down, I stand behind my line to my target. I can get this putter face and ball lined up correctly. It's going over that mark. So this is helping me get aimed correctly. This next part is if I can roll it over that ball marker, that means I'm good with the club face going through. We can see it roll right over there. It's a little short, but I got it started right on that line. So that shows me, hey, I got lined up correctly. I was able to come through, get that putter face square, boom, and start it down that line. Okay. The other one I kind of like to do, I call this around the corner. I'm gonna move this ball marker out of the way. Okay. Again, point it out at my target. Good, I'm gonna use my stick here. I'm gonna put it a little bit more in front, and then I'm gonna move it just a little bit to the side so it's out of my way. So for a breaking putt, this ball should start down the line, and at some point it should start breaking back towards the hole. So I call this kind of around the corner. So again, it's gonna start straight, and at some point it's gonna get around that corner. I might put this stick up a little further. It's obviously not gonna break this early in this putt. I can move it up a little further, but again, you get the idea that, hey, it's gonna start down this line. Obviously, if I got set up poorly or I came through and this putter face adjusted and it hit it into that stick, I'd be off. So again, I'm here. Putter face is lined up with my arrows on my ball. I've got my target there, and then I can putt. And we got one, nice, okay? So again, you can see how that ball stayed on line, and then as it starts to take the break, it kind of goes around that corner. Okay, so we've got two things before we hit it. I want to use the line on the ball, and I want to make sure I stand behind my golf ball to my target, not the hole. That's going to help me aim better. Then when I practice, I got two checkpoints. I can either put a ball marker or a little line with the chalk pen, and I've got to get my ball to roll over that spot. That's showing me I'm starting it on line. Or I could do the around the corner drill where I've got that stick or a club or something out there that, hey, that ball's going to start down that line, and then it's going to move around that corner to the hole. If you get aimed better, you will have a more consistent stroke, which then that putter face will be more stable and you'll be able to make more putts.